Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points in a single game. Nobody has ever touched that. Nobody ever will. But there was another record of his, quieter, way less famous, that sat completely untouched for 63 years. Michael Jordan couldn't break it. Kobe couldn't. LeBron couldn't. Kevin Durant couldn't. The greatest scorers in NBA history all quietly failed and moved on like it never happened. And a skinny 26-year-old from Canada named Shai Gilgeous-Alexander just walked up and took it without even breaking a sweat. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how Shai pulled off something the all-time greats couldn't, and why it completely changes how we should be talking about him. March 12th. Thunder vs. Celtics, third quarter. Shai catches the ball at the elbow. Pump fake. The defender doesn't bite. Pump fake again. Still nothing. One more. Nope, doesn't matter. Shai just rises up from 20 feet and drains the mid-range jumper like the defender isn't even there. Like he's in an empty gym at 6 a.m. Like this is the most normal thing in the world. And in that moment, quietly, with zero drama, he becomes the sole owner of one of the most underrated records in NBA history. 127 consecutive games with at least 20 points, a record that belonged to Wilt Chamberlain since 1963, untouched for longer than most of your parents have been alive. Now here's the part I need you to actually sit with for a second. Jordan, maxed out at 72 games. Durant, 72. Kobe, 63. LeBron James, with 22 years of professional basketball, only got to 49. These are not average players. These are the Mount Rushmore of NBA scoring. The guys we put in the GOAT conversation every single day, and not one of them got within 50 games of what Wilt built. Just break the record. He made everyone else look like they weren't even trying. But here's the thing. If I just tell you Shai broke a 20-point streak record, you're probably thinking, okay, cool, so what? So before we talk about Shai, I need to show you what Wilt's streak actually looked like. Because calling it a 20-point streak is genuinely one of the most disrespectful undersells in sports history. During those 126 games, Wilt averaged 49 points per game. Let me say that again. 49 points per game. Not as a career average, as the floor of a scoring streak. The man was treating 49 points like it was just another Tuesday. He scored 30 or more in 120 of those 126 games. He hit 50 or more 65 times. 65. He went over 60 points 22 times. And 5 actual times, the man walked off the court with 70 or more points. And oh yeah, the 100-point game happened right in the middle of this streak. Just casually, no big deal. Bill Russell, the greatest defender of all time, said Wilt was the most unstoppable offensive player he had ever seen. And Russell literally guarded him every single night. He knew better than anyone. And you know how the streak ended? Not injury, not fatigue, not some genius defensive scheme that finally figured him out. A referee ejected him 4 minutes into a game. Wilt walked off with 6 points. That's it. That's the only reason it stopped. The man didn't lose the streak, he got sent to his room. So yeah, the bar Shai had to clear, it wasn't just high, it was in a completely different atmosphere. So now the real question, how does a guy who runs the NBA's most elegant mid-range game break a record built by the most physically terrifying player in history? Because these two shouldn't even be in the same conversation. But they are. And the reason why is actually kind of beautiful. Wilt got 126 by being a problem that had no solution. You could not move him. You could not out-athlete him. Your entire defensive strategy was basically just pray he misses his free throws and hope for the best. Shai gets to 127 by making you feel like an idiot. No size advantage, no overwhelming athleticism, just angles, patience, timing, and a mid-range jumper that goes in at a rate that genuinely should not be possible in 2026 when everyone has the data, the film, the analytics, and still can't stop it. LeBron, who has seen literally everything in this league, described guarding Shai like this. He said Shai uses angles, manipulates the game, always looking for your hands and arms and elbows the second you get near his space. And Shai's own description of his game, even better. He said, if they stop something, I have a few counters. And if they stop those, I have a few more counters. Bro, that's not how scorers talk. That's how assassins talk. During this streak, he's averaging 32.5 points per game. He's had 5 games of 50 or more, 18 games of 40 or more, 86 games with at least 30. Is it the same as Wilt? No. Wilt was averaging 49, remember. But here's the thing nobody wants to say out loud. Shai is doing this in a completely different era of basketball. Every team has a defensive scheme designed specifically for him. Every coach has studied his tendencies inside out. Every defender is told on day one, do not let Shai get comfortable. And he still goes for 32 a night, every single night, without fail. Different from Wilt? Completely. Less impressive? Come on. But okay, individual records are cool. Stats are fun. But here's the part of this story that I think is actually the most impressive thing about Shai, and nobody is really talking about it. During Wilt's 126 game streak, his Warriors went 66 wins and 60 losses. Winning record. Fine, good even, but nothing crazy. During Shai's 127-game streak, the Oklahoma City Thunder win 103 wins and 24 losses. 103 and 24. Bro, that's not a stat patter. That's not someone hunting records at the expense of his teammates. That is a franchise player on a young team winning at an absolutely absurd rate while simultaneously chasing one of the most consistent individual streaks in league history. And after the game, when someone shoved a mic in his face and asked about breaking Wilt's record, you know what he said? He said, all records are great, but they don't matter if you don't win. If we lost, I would have been ticked. A man who just broke a 63-year-old record in real time was more worried about the mayo. That's the difference between a good player and a great one. Coach Dano said Shai is ruthlessly consistent in the invisible spaces. The stuff cameras don't catch. The preparation, the habits, the thousand small details nobody sees but everybody benefits from. That's what 127 straight games looks like from the inside. Wilt Chamberlain once said, anyone can have a great game, but having 1,000 good games has way more significance. Shai just proved that 127 times in a row, and he's not done. He's 26 years old. The streak is still alive, and every record everyone said was untouchable, apparently nobody sent him the memo. Anyway, that's all, folks. See you next time.